What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining me on the Dance Floor, the podcast, the only podcast for dancers here in San Antonio. I am your host, Demetrio Solis. I am also a dancer choreographer here in San Antonio. So a little bit about me, guys. So I've done a few videos with a few artists here in San Antonio, along with Lee Valentine, and I did it with a music video with Nene, Funny Nene. He did a music video, and I was a part of that. And I am also a brand ambassador for Fuego Shoes. You guys can go check them out. The link is in my bio. You guys can use my discount code at DSolis10 to get a 10% discount off your order. But this podcast is not about me. You can catch my episode on my YouTube channel. You guys can go ahead and subscribe now, share, like, comment, do all the fun activities. My guest today is a very talented dancer and an artist. Please help me give a warm welcome to owner, artistic director at Danzavida De San Antonio for Miss Crystal Diaz Mendez. Give it up, yay! High five.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So how was y'all's day today?
It's going great.
Yeah?
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah?
I was telling Demetrio that I think this is my first dance podcast I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to let it all out and have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So who all do you have here with you?
So I have two very special young ladies. Danzavida, we're a big group. We have about 70 plus dancers.
Wow.
But I wanted to bring these two older girls with me because they've been with me for several years now. I've lost track of how many years for both.
Mm-hmm.
They both have been title holders. Isis is my current Danzavida Dancer of the Year. She also won a $500 scholarship this year.
Congratulations.
To go
Give it
towards
up. Give it up.
her dance education. Such a talented young lady. Very focused in her dance. Same with Layla over here. She is my former Miss Danzavida Queen. She was our 15th year anniversary queen in 2023. And she was also our Danzavida Dancer of the Year last year in 2024.
Nice.
So both of them have, they've really exemplified just the true meaning of passion and going that extra mile in dance and are just such leaders in our group. So I thought these are the ones you need to talk to, and they're going to spill the tea today about their experience and what it's been like, and seeing them grow has been amazing. So
nice. So you fit 70 people in this studio?
Not at once.
Okay. Wow.
We have a lot of classes throughout the week, different ages. Youngest start at 2, and then all the way, I mean, we've had people in their 50s that have danced here. So we have different classes. I think the most we fit in here is maybe like 25.
Wow,
That's pushing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of action.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So where you from? What got you into dance? Let's start from little
How much
Crystal.
time do you have?
You got much time.
Well, I'm born and raised here in San Antonio.
Okay.
Very, very proud native of San Antonio. I started my dance journey at 2 years old with the Ballet Folclórico de San Antonio dance company, which is actually around the corner. I feel like I started dancing when I started walking. I feel like this is all I've done my whole life. Danced my whole life. Went pro at 16. That's kind of when I started touring and performing throughout the U.S. and Mexico. And then one day woke up and said, hey, wouldn't it be fun to open a studio? Like, how fun would that be? Not knowing, no plan, not knowing what I was getting myself into. Definitely with the support of my mom. I think we have that in common.
Yes.
I would be nowhere without her support. I think she's the one that really gave me that push of, why not? Why don't you just give it a shot and see, if this is something you want to do. Fast forward 17 years later.
17,
here I am, and this is my full-time baby. We've been, it's been a roller coaster. That's one thing that I always tell people, especially when you're thinking of opening a studio, do not open it to get rich. You're going to lose a lot of money the first few years. You have to really have a passion for it, and you have to really be putting in the work, because I think it really took a good 7 to 10 years to say, okay, I think this is solid.
Yes.
And of course, having that support system from family and people in your circle.
Yes.
My parents divorced the first year that the studio opened. I went through heartbreak throughout the time that I've been here. I became a mother. I got married. So many life events and happy moments and sad moments and difficult moments where I wanted to quit have transpired during the 17 years.
I think we've all had those moments.
Yeah. So when I look at the studio, it's not a hobby for me. To me, it's like my child, because it's grown with me throughout these 17 years. So it's definitely been a ride.
Yeah, I bet. What year did you open up your studio?
2008.
My math is wrong. She said 17 years.
2008.
I sound science, I'm sorry.
I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I was still in high school. I was actually Miss Teen San Antonio at the time, 16 years old. So yeah, still in high school. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, well, maybe this could kind of be something to get me through college and maybe like something I could do on the side. Mm-hmm. Never did I think it would get to this level. But.
I've been watching her. Nice. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So everybody starts off with quinceañeras. You started off with doing like quinceañeras?
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is when I was in high school, I choreographed a few quinceañeras. I had just with friends, you know, and that was kind of the thing back in the day. We didn't have a lot of social media like these girls do. Right. So like we actually would get together and make up dances, and you know the quinceañeras were like the place to be back in the day. It was like, whose quince are we going to? It wasn't even kids that we went to school with a lot of times. I was on the west side, on the south side, attending different quinceañeras. Like that was the place to be. And me, I just wanted to dance.
Right.
And my mom was like, I'll drop you off and I'll pick you up right here. And she knew like I'm not there for nothing else but to dance, to learn all the new line dances, to just have fun. So there was a few quinceañeras that I like choreographed for fun. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school and middle school. And then even before I opened the studio, I enjoyed just giving back, and I always loved teaching. I used to actually go to the Boys and Girls Club on the east side of San Antonio and just volunteer teaching hip hop classes and flamenco classes, folklorico classes, whatever they were kind of looking for at the time, just because I had I just liked to do it. I wasn't getting paid anything. I genuinely loved to just teach. And I think that's kind of when I knew, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I love to do.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. It's funny when people start talking, and I don't want to interrupt, and just like questions come, and then like when you're done, they just fly back out. Yeah. You know? So you kind of like, I guess everybody, all of my guests, they're quinceañera crashers, right? We don't even know other people, right? We just go. We see, because where I'm from Shirts. And you said you were from where?
I grew up in the Kirby area. Yeah, okay. Northeast side.
Well, over there in Shirts, you know, there's not that many halls around, so we just go by, I think, the only 3 halls we had.
The Shirts Civic Center.
Yeah. Well, that one wasn't around.
That's a newer one, right?
I'll say my age, too. But I'm forever 21.
There we go. We're in our 20s.
So, yeah, we go by every hall. I think the only 3 halls that were there. I'm not going to say names, I'm not sponsored. No. But we'd see a young girl in a big dress. Okay, there's one that we pull over. I think we've gotten kicked out of one quinceañera.
Oh my goodness.
And then once because they were like, do y'all know them? We're like, no. And then as we were leaving, we see somebody we know. So it's like, man, let's just go anyways. So awesome. So the whole reason of me starting this whole podcast is because I see everybody is, let's put it in a language that we all know, winning. Mm-hmm. Everybody is winning, and everybody has these people that they work with. But the reason why I'm starting this podcast is because nobody really actually gets to know us. It's all just work, in class,
Very true.
And then, you know what I mean? So this is the whole reason why I started, because like I like to just sit down and let's talk about dance.
Yes, absolutely.
So I felt like this is where I wanted to get it started and get to know everybody. So this is an opportunity to sit down, brag about where you've been. You know, toot your horn, beep, toot
all right, I'm gonna toot
it. Awesome. Let's start off with a few icebreakers, okay? So go ahead and introduce yourselves first.
Hi, my name is Layla Alvi. I'm 12 years old. I'm from San Antonio, and I've been dancing since I was at least like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And have you always been with Crystal?
No, I joined 3.
No, I think it's been longer. Has it been 3? More than 3 years.
3 fiestas ago.
There we go. It was during Fiesta.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, this is my 3rd Fiesta season, so she's going into her 4th year.
Yeah, we're going into year 4.
So did you see her at Fiesta and you're like, I want to be in?
Well, when I was younger, I did more other dances. When I was younger, I wanted to do ballet, I did jazz and tap, and then when I grew older, I grew a new interest in hip hop. That has always been one of my favorites.
I don't know how
That's her thing.
And
she gets down.
Yeah.
And so when I grew older, I wanted to learn more dances and different, like, I know every teacher has a new, like, a different way to teach. Mm-hmm. So when I told my mom I wanted to get in another group, because when I was younger, I was in, like, a group that was, like, not as out like this one, like a performing group.
Right.
And so I told her, I wanted to be in a group that was big and performing, and I love going to events, like Fiesta is my favorite.
Yes.
And so she was like, we can go here. I said, okay, we can try it. And then I just,
That's it.
oh yeah, I had my little cousin, and me and her
Yeah.
wanted to be in
Go ahead and shout out her name.
Ileana Martinez.
Nice. Awesome. And what is your story?
Well, I'm Isis Garcia. I'm 10, and I've been here since I was probably like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm. I think it's been more than 3
Yeah.
years. I think you've all kind of been here at the same time.
Probably
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I started because my mom was like, well, ever since I was a little kid, I liked doing tap.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, when I was growing older, I was kind of changing. And then my mom, she saw Crystal, and then that's when she put me in Folklorico. So whenever we had, like, different classes, I was like, I want to try out samba. I tried out samba, and I was like, I want to do this.
Nice.
And then whenever they started hip-hop, I was like, I want to try it out, too. I did it. It was fun, like, really fun. So I did that, too.
Yeah.
Nice. So if you guys were to pick, if they say you're going to perform, pick any style you want to perform, what would it be?
Mine would probably be flamenco because it's very exaggerating, and it's like a song without lyrics. Like you can express your feelings, like
Tell
you
a
can
story.
use
Yeah.
faces.
Yes.
Mhm.
You can tell a story.
Very
And
passionate.
it's very like clean and sharp, and
Okay,
I just
yes.
love it.
Nice.
What about you?
yourself?
I'd probably pick Folklorico, like any type of Folklorico, like Jalisco or Veracruz. But like,
So there's
like,
different type of flamingos. I
Yeah,
did not
so
know
yeah,
that.
so like with Ballet Folklorico, it's basically different regions in Mexico. So there's like Jalisco, which is Jalisco, Mexico. So each state in Mexico has a different costume and a different dance.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
endless. It's endless when it comes to learning because there's all these different states and different costumes and totally different choreography for each one.
Okay, see,
So-
I've been dancing for so many years and I'm still learning.
Yeah, yeah.
What about yourself, Crystal?
I'm gonna have to agree with Layla with flamenco. So flamenco is probably one of my fortes as a performer myself, and I think it's one of the most underrated art forms, personally, that I see even in San Antonio. If you are lucky enough to experience a flamenco show, if you haven't done so, I highly recommend it. I studied flamenco for many years, and for those that don't know the difference, because people do
Yes.
get them confused, flamenco is from Spain and folklorico, ballet folklorico, is from Mexico. So completely different countries. So I always get kind of agitated when people are like, they're the same, and I'm like, they're totally not the same. So very different styles, different countries. But I think like what Layla was trying to interpret is like flamenco is very passionate, and there's a lot of drama, and it tells a story. And I think when people associate like dance for the most part is very like uplifting and happy, and you're having a good time, but with flamenco, there's several types of dances that they do tell a story, and they're kind of sad, and they're not as happy, they're a little bit more passionate. So
Okay.
I've always loved performing flamenco. Every time I competed in pageants, flamenco was my go-to for the talent competition, and I won many talent awards with flamenco. But I think it was because it was so different, and it's not something that you see all the time. So when you do see it, it's like, oh wow,
Okay,
it's,
I'm gonna have
it's
to check out the
beautiful.
different styles.
Yes,
Because I know it's.
Or you'll have to come see one of our shows
Yeah,
when we dance
yeah,
flamenco.
send me the link. I'd
It's
love to go to
beautiful.
everybody's show and
Really
just get really inspired. I mean, I'm inspired with dance, and I don't dance it, but I love to watch it.
Yes.
Like contemporary. I've never taken a contemporary class, but I love to watch it.
Yes.
It's just the feeling and stuff. So yeah, just send me the link or send me your next event. That
Sure.
was actually one of the questions. We'll get to that in the events at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So another game that I want to play. So each of us, we're gonna do. We can start with me. We're gonna do 3 truths and 1 lie, and we gotta try to guess the lie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. So 1.
I'm all trying to think of
No,
one.
let's have to speak. Let's give it a while to speak, right? Oh, that's my game. I should have
Excuse me.
been ready, right? Okay.
3 truths, 1 lie.
And we have to try to guess the lie.
Okay, so you say 3 things are
Okay. So let's say, I'm trying to think.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Okay, ready?
Truths.
My favorite color is red. I lived in Hawaii for 6 years, and I eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away.
So which ones are the truths and which ones are the lie? Let's
guess
see.
the lie.
You want to guess it?
Sure.
What do you think his lie is?
Eating an apple a day.
Okay. Next.
Um,
So it's my favorite color is red. I lived in Hawaii for 6 years, and I eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away.
I think your favorite color is red.
Okay.
Like, that's a lie.
I want to say Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah, I think that's the
You
lie.
got it right.
Really? So you really did live in Hawaii?
I lived in Hawaii for
That's
6 years.
amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, it was
Wow.
awesome. Really
Wow.
amazing. Awesome. I always wanted to play that game. But,
I love
but whenever it came to the podcast, it's like, I forget.
I
Okay,
love
let's
it.
go next. Who wants to go next?
I haven't even thought
Let's
of
go
mine.
Bristol, go
Okay,
Bristol.
let me just. I'm gonna
Okay,
just.
okay,
I'm
yeah,
just gonna
give
make
some
this up
time,
off the
okay.
top of my head. Okay.
Awesome.
Well.
So what's up, you guys? For those of you guys that are joining, so go ahead and feel free to leave in some comments. We'll go get to the comments later. Some inside jokes if you want for my guest. And if you have any questions, something they forget to bring up, go ahead and feel free to ask. Okay.
Okay, let's start off with one. I performed on a cruise ship.
Okay. Now we know the lie. Now we know the lie.
I performed on a cruise ship. I like to stay home instead of going out. And my favorite color is black.
I'm gonna say you like to stay home.
You think that's a lie?
No, wait,
Okay.
go out. Wait,
Okay.
what do you mean go out? Because I mean,
Like, I prefer to stay home instead of going out and
clubs
being
and
out and
drinking.
doing anything.
I'm gonna stick with that one.
Okay?
I have to say the one that I think is a lie.
Yeah.
I think that your favorite color is.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Liza.
Y'all are all wrong.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You never performed
My
it?
favorite color is that was okay, wait. Am I doing this right? Yeah, that was the truth. That was the truth.
Okay. your
So the
favorite
lie
color
was
is black?
that I don't like going out and I like to stay home. That is
Second
the
right.
exact truth.
Really?
Oh, you did say
That's
that.
right.
Oh, I thought you said that was a lie. Okay, so yes, you did get it right. Y'all
So,
got it
yeah,
wrong.
we gotta get
And my
the
favorite
lie.
color is black. I wear black every day. That's my
And then you
favorite
performed
color.
on a cruise
And I
ship.
have performed on a cruise ship.
I forgot what that was.
I thought you
was
thought
thinking-
mine was that was a lie, but okay, he thought it was
No,
right.
no.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like an extroverted introvert.
Me too.
Like
I
if
can
you
talk
were
a
to
lot.
tell me right now, Pitbull is here. Okay, maybe not Pitbull. Their concert, I don't know. Or you
Okay,
could like
let's-
stay home in your pajamas right now and just like binge watch a movie and do
Yeah.
nothing. I would just choose to stay home. Like
Really?
I think people wouldn't think that about me because I'm so like hi everybody. Like I like to be out and about, but I secretly don't. Like I
Me
want to
too.
just stay
I'm that
home
way too.
all
I'd
the
rather
time.
stay home. Like
If somebody
con-
cancels,
concerts,
I'm like, oh yes, I didn't want to go
concerts and
anyway.
stuff, and, like Fiesta. I
Yeah.
wanted to go to Fiesta, but I'm like,
Same. I will work
anxiety,
it,
All the
but I don't
drummers
want
here
it.
on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd rather just stay home and watch it on the phone.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But it's
So
funny because
Demetria had it right.
all the fees that come on, it's just all like bad. I mean, I saw Batman this year. Was down there.
Oh yeah, I did see
Yeah,
that. I saw that on TikTok.
yeah, that would have been cool to watch.
But yes, ladies, I wear black every day, so that's like my go-to
Yeah.
color. So, but people always think it's like pink or what? I just
Really?
love black. Yeah.
Okay, I would have thought. Okay, who wants to go next?
You have some? Okay.
I like blue. I've never forgotten my practice dress. And
We think that one's a lie. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm thinking, has she ever forgotten it? Okay, one more.
I've been to a concert.
I'm gonna
Oh, wait,
say.
no.
You can change it.
Yeah, I changed it.
She's like, maybe I have.
I've sang by myself.
You've
sing what?
sang.
Yeah.
You've sang.
Like a solo.
Oh, you sang by yourself. Oh, I want to say you've never forgotten your dress. I think that's a lie.
Okay.
I've forgotten some outfits before.
I think, because I know you sing. I think, hold on. So I'm probably gonna say that your favorite color is blue.
That's a lie?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with your favorite color is blue is the lie too, because I don't think you've ever forgotten your skirt. If so, I don't remember because you're pretty organized.
So what's the
And I
lie?
think you sing. I think you sang.
Yes.
Okay, so what was the lie?
I've never forgotten my practice.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think she ever has in the 3 years. That's
Okay.
actually pretty impressive.
I gotta think.
Okay.
This one's gonna be funny.
2 truths and a lie.
2 truths.
And we have to try to guess the lie.
I love going out and being involved with everything. My favorite, like, not color, but like, I guess, like glitter. I love glitter and like silver and stuff like that, and sequins. And I still do violin.
You used to do violin?
I still do violin.
Oh, you still do violin. I'm gonna say you love to go out. No, because you seem, I don't know you. Right now you seem kind of shy. Right now you seem kind of shy, but the way they're explaining, I'm gonna say the violin is a lie.
I'm gonna go with the violin being the lie.
Yeah, me too.
It's a lie.
Is it a lie? Because she's way too busy. I'm like, I don't know when you have time to do
Like, I've
violin.
never seen you hold a violin
She's
before.
like, likes to go out, and she just mentioned that earlier.
know
And she has tons of glitter on.
I know.
So those are a good. That was a given.
Awesome. So who is y'all's biggest inspiration when it comes to dancing? Is somebody you could just watch all the time like me? I like to watch Matt Stefanina, Brian Puspos, everybody basically in the California area, New York. Sierra got me into hip hop. Who else? There's so many out there, but those videos I can just watch them all day. So who inspired you guys?
Do you have any?
I have some. One artist that inspired me was Selena. She was very outgoing. She had a wonderful voice. She was very passionate about her decisions that she made that she wanted to do. She was very dedicated in her dancing, singing. She sang Spanish and English. And she just, I don't know, she just got me very dedicated to do what I'm doing now.
Yes.
And also, Rihanna.
Good choice.
I still do. I watch her, and that got me.
That Super Bowl was amazing.
And
Oh my God!
Yes.
And pregnant.
And pregnant.
And pregnant. And up there.
Yes. That inspired me to do hip hop because she's very, like, I don't know the word, like very.
There's no word for it. That's how.
Yes,
She's got that island vibe.
Yes.
We call it the island girl.
Yes,
we
that's my
learned that
favorite
on the
hip-hop
replay song not that long
Oh,
ago.
that was
And I was telling her, island girl.
That's what started her upon the replay,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, that was like
That's my favorite song that she has ever.
come out with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say Selena because like I love how when she like sings and dance because it like shows like the emotions kind of. But, like,
And
the
you do
pop.
sing too, so yeah. I
Yes.
see that.
Yeah. Mine has always been J-Lo, hands down.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many amazing choreographers, dancers, but when I think of someone that inspired me, I guess coming from like our generation, like growing up, J-Lo was always that. She just always had that wow factor, that performing factor, even now in her 50s. I'm just
Yeah.
like, girl, I am not going to complain that I'm tired or that anything hurts because she could go out there and do that in her 50s and still look that great.
And then she was on that phone, that Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, the Super Bowl and with Shakira,
I think that was my favorite
my
one.
honest
Yes.
opinion though, I loved what they did together. I really do. But I think they should have just let her have her moment. I like what they did. I
Yes.
really do. But just coming from a J-Lo fan, I don't think she needed Shakira. I think she could have owned it. You know, when you think of people like Bruno Mars and who else has done it? Justin Timberlake. They, would have like a little cameo here and there.
Yes.
But I think to have J-Lo split it with another woman, it was kind of like.
That
Did you not think she was capable of like owning that on her own? Because she totally, if it's anybody, could have. But I did like what they did. I just think like she probably would have like enjoyed having that moment of like, it's all about me.
So we're talking about J-Lo and we're talking about Selena. So Selena was a big
Yeah,
inspiration of me.
yes.
I do a lot of videos of Selena. I did a Selena podcast with a friend of mine, and so Selena, I have to say, was a big inspiration of me. You know, her personality. If it wasn't for her and watching all those videos, I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
Absolutely.
So you said J-Lo, and since we're on J-Lo, we're gonna go off the topic, okay? So what do you think about like people saying about like how they got a Puerto Rican to play Selena? How do you think she did as
I think hands down nobody could have done it like her. I think the fact that she's a Latina is enough. Even if she wasn't a Latina, I don't think the culture or the ethnicity of where she's from. At the end of the day, it was about choosing the best person that was gonna fill those shoes.
Yes.
And if you dig a little deeper and if people did more research, they did cast somebody else, but the acting skills weren't there.
Yes.
And time is money when you're producing. You don't have time to be doing 100 takes. So if you can find someone that looks the part, that has the talent, and can come in and do the job, then you're winning.
Yes.
So coming from like a production standpoint, I totally
Yeah, I
understand
agree.
it.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So, J-Lo, hands down. So what about as far as acting?
I
J-Lo
think
acting.
I think she's a decent actor. Personally, I think
Not including the movie Selena. We're talking about like the movie Enough.
that's actually a great movie.
That is a good
I
movie.
think she's had some that have flopped, but she also has had some really good. With The Wedding Planner was
I haven't
one.
seen that one.
That's a good one.
Is it?
Enough is a great movie.
Enough is a good
Selena, phenomenal.
Anaconda was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. There's a couple others.
So what do you feel
Monster-in-Law
about?
was a good
She has
one.
never won an Oscar before.
See, I don't agree with that either. I think they just
I
people
know.
stay hating on J Lo.
I know.
And you know, I
But-
saw a documentary not that long ago, and
I saw that one too.
and
I
she's
think
just
that's what I got.
crying, you know. And she talk about a lady that's like given so much of herself, like blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
And I don't think that she has properly been given her flowers. I just
No.
don't. I don't.
so.
I think
But
she should have
J-Lo,
won something.
You got your flowers
We see you,
from
from
us.
us.
We see you. You should have gotten a lot of Oscars.
Yes.
And
At least one.
Yes. And you're an awesome. She's an awesome entertainer as well.
Yes.
Her music videos. I seen. I think it was, you know how people post like the whole concert on YouTube. I've seen it all, and all the
Phenomenal.
choreographers and dancers are phenomenal. I'm like, man, when she comes to San Antonio, I'm gonna be there.
Yes, same.
row.
I've never seen her in concert.
No, neither
but
have
it's on my bucket list
Yes.
for sure. For sure.
All right, awesome. So a little bit more about Crystal. So I just found out after I had booked this that you are an artist too.
Yeah.
So I did not know you were the one that did the song Fuego with
Yeah,
Bolowski.
yes.
So
yes.
that's awesome. So I personally know Bolowski too. Bolowski, shout out to you, bro.
Hi, Bolowski.
He's got an awesome voice. I think his voice really departs from anybody else.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
Boricua.
yes, he's got an awesome voice. So tell me a little bit about that. How was the project like? And
Oh, so much fun. So Bolowski and I actually go way back. We met when we were teenagers. I'm going to expose our age again. I think 2008.
Oh,
we were
like 2
still
years
in high
ago.
school. Just a couple years ago. He went to Kennedy High School. I went to Wagner High School. And we actually, back in the day when I was Miss Teen San Antonio, I founded my own organization called Crystal for Kids.
Okay.
And it was an organization that was about just basically bringing the performing arts to the less fortunate kids. So we would go and we'd put on benefit concerts and performances throughout the city, and all the proceeds that we would raise for from the show, we would donate it to the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. So in 2008, I organized a performance at the Arneson River Theater with all different types of talent that you could think of: mariachi, hip hop dancers, reggaeton singers, flamenco dance. I mean, anything that you could think of. It was a night where people could come and just see a show of nothing but different talented artists throughout the city. So we had actually kind of crossed paths through mutual performing friends.
Okay.
And that's when we met. So throughout the years, we always stayed in touch. I actually started my singing career in 2017.
Okay.
My first single was actually produced by Gilbert Velasquez, who actually produced for Selena, Emilio
nice.
Navaira, a lot of really, really big names in Tejano music. So I had been doing cumbia and Tejano music for the past few years, but in 2021, I said, I want to do something different. I want to
Yes.
do, like, especially because I'm a dancer
Yes.
and I love like Latin music. I said, I want to do kind of like a cumbia reggaeton song. So of course, Belowski was the first person that came to my mind. And he had been doing the music thing, still in the industry, kind of doing his own thing. And so I kind of reached out to him and said, hey, like, what do you think about doing a song together? He's like, totally down, let's do it.
He's very humble.
Oh my gosh, so humble and always down to make a song. Like, this
Yes.
guy stays making music every day.
Yes.
So we got together, kind of brainstormed some ideas. My now producer is David Garza, phenomenal producer. Basically can take any idea that you have and just make it magic. So we got in the studio. I put my vocals on the song. He did his rap. He wrote his own lyrics.
Yeah.
And that song, it did amazing.
fuego.
It was on the
It is-
radio.
pretty fuego.
It did so well. It was playing throughout the U.S. We did the video for it, so it was a really fun project and probably one of my favorite songs that I've done.
Yes,
because
it's a good
it's
song.
different. It's not something
Yes.
you hear all the time.
No, and it caught my eye. I was like, this is pretty dope.
Thank you.
I like it.
So the cool thing is, my other music was more like cumbia, mariachi, so that played more on like Tejano station. But this song actually merged into like the 104.5, which was playing in like Miami and, different cities outside of Texas, so different places. So I was able to get more traction kind of throughout the U.S. So we were really excited about it and proud. So it was a lot of fun.
So you guys, if you guys want to go check out Belowski and I forgot your name, but Crystal. Because I want to say Diaz Mendez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can say Diaz. My husband won't get mad.
Okay. So you go check out Crystal and Belowski's song Fuego. Is it Crystal featuring Belowski or?
Yeah, you can just look up Crystal Diaz and it's an
awesome song. Go check out Belowski's music as well. He's got some nice songs as well. Pretty dope. I was about to curse, but yes. And you also have another song, Tequila Does.
Tequila Does.
Yeah. So that one.
I love that song by the way.
Yes. So I was listening to it on the way over here, and it gave me like a kind of like a country vibe.
Yeah.
And it's mixed in with something. I want to say conjunto or
like Tejano country is kind of what we labeled it. Tejano country. It's actually originally a Miranda Lambert song.
Oh,
so it's a country song, and a lot of people didn't even know it was a cover. But I don't take credit, or it's not mine. So originally, Miranda Lambert, very kind of chill country song. I did my own spin on it, which made it a Tejano country. So you can kind of hear that conjunto vibe with like accordion and guitar.
Yes.
And I was really excited to make that song. That was kind of my comeback song after having my son. So the funny thing is I released Es Fuego and I got Prego right after. So it was so funny. I was literally telling my husband this the other day. I was like, we had like so much anticipation with the song, and I was like, I'm going to tour, and, I'm going to work on the album, and we had just gotten married, and right literally after I filmed the video, I found out I was expecting my son. So somebody made that joke, like, you released Des Fuego and you got Prego. And so I took a little break from music for like a year and a half. So I was really anxious to get back into the music industry and to release another song. So Tequila Does was like the comeback song.
Oh, okay.
So,
you really said Fuego. How many years has it been since Fuego?
2021, so 4 years ago.
Wow.
And then Tequila Does was in 2023.
So I didn't know Belowski in 2020. I don't think so. I don't know what year we had met, because I know I met him through Lee Valentine.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know what year we met. But I think he had announced it. Yeah, I think I did know him, because I remember his announcement. And then Tequila Does was a year ago. Are you thinking about doing another song?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Is there one in the works right now?
I'm working on some ideas, so I'm almost. Yeah, I'm like teasing it. Shout out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, definitely getting back in the studio soon.
Nice.
Now that I have the studio has gotten so much bigger, and I'm so grateful for that. But it's been a lot more work, and I'm a wife. I'm a mom to a.
How many people are you?
I'm like 10 people. So there's like so many things I want to do, and it's just like finding the time to balance. And I'm also the type of person that I won't release music. I will not put a project out unless it's 150% best of me, top of the line. Anytime I release a song, I'm releasing an album, a cover, a single cover, and I'm doing a video, and I'm doing the proper promotion for it. Because I want to be able to service the song to the best of my ability. So that's what I do always tell people, is like there are little gaps in between when I release music, but when you do hear a song, it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because everybody thinks like everything should be quick. No, the quicker you do it, the more sloppy it's gonna look.
Yeah, I don't.
So and then also it's like I see a lot of people they announce things that they're gonna do,
and they don't do it.
But they don't do it. So it's like my advice to everybody is do it first and then announce it.
Yes, don't talk about it.
Yes.
Or don't talk about it until after it's done.
Yes.
That's always been my motto.
Awesome. So those are the only two songs that I know, and I'm gonna check out your music.
Yeah, I have several. I think I have 6.
Cumbias. I love Tejano music.
There's another one, La Reina del Baile. That's a cumbia. I don't know if you've heard that. That's the one that was my very first single, but that's the one that you'll hear at the quinceañeras, and that's the one you're gonna want to dance the cumbias to.
I'm gonna check it out. So y'all go check it out.
iTunes on all digital platforms.
Gotcha.
Apple Music, iTunes. All my music videos are on my YouTube channel. Just look up Crystal Diaz.
Belowski actually just did a song with DJ King.
He did.
That's awesome.
He did.
Because the song that Lee Valentine did with DJ King, he was supposed to. We were part of that music video.
Nice.
But unfortunately, DJ King wasn't able to come out and be a part of the music video. But that was, I think, my first video. No, I lied. I think that was my second or third music video.
Wow. And the crazy thing is, before he released the video, he actually sent it to me. Don't tell anybody. well, everybody knows now. He said, "But guess what? Like, you're not going to believe who I'm making this song with." And so he sends me the song so I can hear it. And he's like, "Let's just hope he comes through tomorrow." He shows up. He's a busy man. So he showed up, they did the video, and I loved it. I thought it was really great. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I got to actually hear the song before they released it. Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Bolesky. Keep up the good work. I'm proud of you, Lee Valentine. Keep up the good work.
Yes.
I would love to have you guys on the podcast, but you're not dancers. No. I mean, maybe. I think I'll kind of do a curveball to kind of, because I did work with them.
Would be really great.
Yeah, because I did work with them.
Yes.
So maybe I'll get them on the podcast.
Maybe like an artist shout out.
Just dance like this and air dance.
He's got some moves. I've seen him.
Yeah, no, he does. So I also see that you're doing a lot of Selena events.
Yeah.
So what caught my attention and what drew me to you was that you guys recently did the Siempre Selena.
Yeah.
So me being a big Selena fan, I was like, that is so awesome. So talk to me about that. What was it like?
Yeah, and it's so interesting how they both were like, Selena! And that's like, and I was going to mention that, but I'm glad you asked. Selena's a really big part of Danzavida and a lot of the projects that we do. I don't know how far you've kind of digged into the studio or what you've seen, but we've even
got a few rabbit holes here.
Selena floats for Fiesta several times. We've been hired to do like tribute performances, but really I think what got the most traction is our Fiesta floats. So
they were pretty nice.
you know, KSAT 12 obviously covers the parades. So when they were going to do this 30th anniversary special of Siempre Selena, they remembered our Fiesta float and they were like, you were the one that had all the little tiny Selenas and the costumes. And so I had actually been this had been in the works for several months. The producer and I had been going back and forth on some ideas on what we kind of wanted to capture. So I kind of came up with the looks and, you know, the choreography and things like that. So we had been working on this for quite some time and then spending time in the studio, obviously working on choreography and getting ready. And just to be asked to be a part of such a legendary project meant a lot to me as a director. And the even cooler thing is I was a part of her 20-year anniversary special 10 years ago. And the dancers I had at the time were also involved in that project. So to be asked back again 10 years later was an honor. So hopefully for 40 years they'll ask us again. And it's awesome.
So you got the 20, you got the 30.
They're 20, the 30, and we're coming for the 40. So as you can see, Selena has been such a big, has left such a big impact even on this generation of girls that, you know, and even us. I mean, I didn't really get to ever see her perform live, obviously. I was a little girl, but I felt like I knew her, and she was such a big part of my upbringing as an artist and a performer. And it's just amazing to see that full circle moment and now see them be like, Selena.
Not to say your age, but how old were you when she passed?
Well, what year did she pass? It was 95. So I was born in 91. I was
really?
4.
Oh, wow.
3, 4. I was a baby. I'm 33.
I'll be 38 next month.
Really? You look great. 38. I swore you were like maybe my age. Wow, you look really good. I need whatever you're taking over there.
I don't know.
Yeah. So you got to actually kind of
I
see a little bit more of her than
So
me.
no. So my story, and this is what I also mentioned in the Selena podcast that I did. So I just discovered her maybe, I want to say it felt like 3 weeks before she passed. It was the Beady Beady Bom Bom that I heard, and it caught my eye. I was a little kid, you know, and just like the Beady Beady Bom catches every kid's eye, right?
Yeah.
And I'm asking my mom, "Oh, what's that song?" And so she can say, and I'm here playing that's all I knew, Beady Beady Bom Bom, right?
That's devastating.
It literally felt like 3 weeks later. A few weeks later, I don't know, I was little at the time, it's just vague for me. We're getting off the bus, and my parents said they shot Selena. And we thought it was April Fool's, because the next day
it was, the day before.
We thought it was the day before. And so we're sitting, me and my brothers and sisters and my cousins were sitting in my parents' room, and we're just watching the news coverage with YS. So I don't say her name either.
She don't deserve it.
So yeah, and then my cousin was like, I feel like I want to cry, and I was like, me too, and I actually started crying.
Aww.
And that's when my dad taught me
about that. And you remember?
Yes, that's when my dad taught me about that.
Wow. So that's a very big...
Yeah, so ever since then, it's just Selena. So it's just,
Wow. I can only imagine just like that heartbreak for you, though, just to discover somebody that you're like, wow, I really love her. You were so intrigued. And then for her to go.
Yeah, I'd never really seen what she looked like. The first time I saw what she actually like was, okay, well, we saw the J-Lo on the movie.
Yeah.
I watched the movie until the very end. You know how they had that Selena,
Yes.
was it Como la Flor?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's when I was like, oh, that's what she looks like?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I remember when they announced that they were going to do the shooting at the Alamo Dome, I thought it was really Selena.
Wow.
I was like, I thought she died.
I'm confused.
Dad, you lied to me, about death, but no, so it was like, yeah, and I wanted to go, but we didn't go. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how I still remember that.
Yeah, it stays with you.
Yes.
That is, wow.
I was also researching you, and you did a special guest appearance at Blessed Angels Community Center.
Oh, yes. So I'm also a dance director it is an adult senior living community center. So that's also what I do aside from all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
Twice a week, I teach dance to seniors. So literally, I teach from babies to senior citizens all the way up.
Nice.
And I do that every Tuesday and Wednesday morning. The classes are completely free.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a little dance team there that we named them the Blessed Angels Rockettes. These ladies are in their 80s. I think one's almost 90. And,
Wow.
But you know what the cool thing is? A lot of them have never even danced before. Had never taken a dance lesson, or maybe wanted to do it when they were younger. So it's neat because now I'm able to kind of provide them with that experience.
Yes.
And it's good for their health,
Yes.
for them to be active. So yesterday they had they asked me to be their celebrity bingo caller. And I came in, and my son was with me and totally stole the show. He's definitely my mini-me, for sure. So we had a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and I love my work that I do there.
Nice. The reason why I brought that up is that's one thing we have in common. So there's a Cibolo senior program out there in Church Cibolo, and I actually I used to go out there and line dance with them.
Oh.
And they are so amazing. People would be
Yes.
like, you dance with seniors? Like, what is that? But when you go and they have so much fun, it's on my Instagram. It's I got a few short videos on my YouTube with seniors dancing, line dancing and stuff.
I
and
love
it's a
that.
lot of fun. I was
They
like,
need love
hey.
too.
Yes, they do. They're amazing. I love them, and hopefully I'll be returning soon.
There you go.
Let's go with these comments here on
Oh, there's people-
YouTube. So who do we have?
Oh
We
my
have
God.
Vero Garcia,
That's ECC's mom.
Height. I'm sorry if I pronounced these wrong. Hannah
Oh,
Height.
Hannah.
All right, thank you for joining. Satan Gonzalez, what's going on? Yes, Layla, you look so beautiful.
Layla's fans.
Vero Garcia, what? I'm getting old.
That's your mom.
No. So, Isis, what is the best part of dancing with Danzavida?
Oh, good question.
Yes, good question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isis, what is your favorite, or the best part of dancing with Danzavida? Am I pronouncing it? Danzavida?
Danzavida.
Danzavida.
The best part is probably dancing places so like people see our type of dancing so that they get inspired by all of us, so like they try it out and
Nice.
if they like it or not.
It doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to inspire somebody.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, so here's one. Crystal, would you do open Danzavida all over again today if you knew all the work it takes? Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What would you What would you now tell yourself?
I think I would definitely tell my younger self, like, I'd give her a lot more grace. I think, like, now that I'm in my 30s, and I think you can agree with that. Like, now I'm at that place in my life where I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Or I don't have to do that. I think in my younger self, I was so consumed with, like, being an overachiever and working and working and working and trying to prove myself. And there were a lot of people that doubted me when I opened my studio. And I'm going to say this because this is a podcast and it's real.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say any names. But my biggest mentor at the time, I mean, basically it's like me telling these girls these words. I was scared to tell her that I was leaving the performing group because at the time when I was 16, I was performing in a professional company where we performed, every week, and they relied on me to lead the group, and I had to tell her that I was going to be leaving and starting my own group. So can you imagine my nerves?
Yes.
But her answer to me was, "Well, good luck. Studio's open every day here in San Antonio." So,
Wow.
like it's nothing, And I think about that, and I think of like the relationship I have with these girls, and how proud I would be if they wanted to continue something that I planted in them, or maybe gave them the courage to say, hey, I saw Miss Crystal do it. You know, I could do it. I would be like, I would want to help them and give them all the tools and be like, don't do this, do that. You know, work smarter, not harder. So I would go back and just give myself so much grace and really just, I would do it all over again. Like no doubt about it. It definitely has been, like I said, it's been a journey and it's been a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work. And even the moments where, you know, we survived the pandemic. That was the hardest part.
Really?
I was not even sure if we were going to be able to continue. I mean, I don't think they were with me at the time yet, but, you know, talk about being on such a high in 2020, finally being at this place where it's like, I was on the verge of opening up a bigger studio, moving out of this space. Everything was great to like, you're not essential. Like, you can't have people in your business. It's scary. Having to do virtual. I teach kids for the most part. So virtual and kids was like very challenging. And just having to work extra hard to like rebuild the studio again, and get it to the place that it is now. So yeah, I mean, but I think there's nothing else that I would ever see myself doing. I definitely feel like we all have a destiny and a calling, and this has been my calling. So I had to go back and rough it out and do it again and go through all those heartbreaks and, you know, things within my personal family, you know, things within my personal life that I was, you know, and I think that's the hard thing too, is that, you know, when you decide to have a business, you know, you have to show up all the time, even when you're going through things in your life that are hard. You know, you're just like, I have people that rely on me. I have, you know, my students that need to see the best of me, even though I'm having a horrible day or like this horrible thing is going on in my life. But I also think it's been a saving grace for me as well.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, what did y'all miss out?
I know. What did you not hear?
What was the last thing you heard?
I think the last thing we were talking about was the confidence. You were asking what does dance do besides escape is always a big one. Confidence. It instills confidence in our dancers. I don't know what else everybody else missed with.
Okay, let's go. This is playing now. So what was the last thing you guys heard? So yes, the confidence. Let's just pick up from there. Okay. So yeah, I would have to say I have no other reason, but you guys just taught me about confidence. Mine was an escape. So, I mean, I'm having a bad day or something. I just want to dance in my room. I'd be in the kitchen dancing, in my living room dancing. So I would have nothing but to say but escape. But now it has given me my confidence. Just being on stage and just performing, and hearing people cheer, you know, it's an awesome feeling.
Yes.
You know, so, and then now I have my 4th generation group that I'm working with now, my group of dancers. So I'm getting them ready for a performance that we have May 17th. It's going to be for a quinceañera. So
We'll have to come check them out sometime.
yeah, so it's going to be, we're doing, I've never done K-pop.
Oh, wow. And that's really popular right now. I'm still learning about the K-pop nation out there because it's a big
Actually, just play the music and let your body move.
Yeah.
That's
right,
what
I'm
I've
gonna
been
try
doing.
it.
That's what I've been doing. So that's what I've been doing.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm excited and everything's coming out good. We're working on our last song. I think we're doing 2 K-pop songs.
Nice.
And we're working on our last one now. So
exciting.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you. Anything else in the comments? Let me see. Where do we leave off at? Sharitza Vega joining. Layla, you look so beautiful. Love you, Layla. Love you, Isis' mom and dad. Are so proud of you. Love you, Isis. Viva Danzavida. Somebody put a message that's restricted or distracted. I don't know. So, Layla. Okay, here's for Layla. This is from Joseph Alvey.
Her daddy.
Okay, all right, let's go. What is the best memory of dancing with the group is?
Oh, that's a good question, Jody.
Probably anything in Fiesta, all events. Okay, all events are amazing. I love all events, but especially in Fiesta, like Market Square, the floats, and
States
are my favorite. And Market Square is one good one because I love the dance part, and then like after, like there's a shop, you can go outside.
She's trying to get the full experience.
And you can take pictures, like can be so involved. You can have all the glitter and all the makeup, your hair done.
Yeah, we're very diva over
Yeah,
here. So
yeah.
as you could tell, they like that.
Because at first I was Danza Diva, something like that.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
it's kind of put the diva in there,
Yeah.
Danzavida.
Yeah.
And I thought it was diva. Because you have all girls, right?
For the most part, we have like 5 boys.
Oh, no, your son,
And my son.
He's the star himself.
He's the king.
Yes.
So.
Awesome. Good question. Good answer. So good job, Layla. Love you. Okay, that's when they go to now. There's no sound.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
they can hear us now. What advice would you give to inspiring dancers?
I would my advice, stay true to who you are. I think it's really easy to compare yourself to somebody else's success and what other people are doing, and I think that's one thing that may set me aside, is that I've been very like tunnel vision. You know, I don't consume myself with what is she doing, what is he doing, where are they,
Yes.
you know, and I love to support other people. I think that's great, but I think it's really important to just stay focused on your path, even if it doesn't look like somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're just getting started and this person's established, or you don't have the same audience, or you don't have as many like, you know, and I think now it's a little harder because of like social media and, you know,
Yeah.
kind of being out there and stuff, but stay true to who you are. Find a brand and a style that sets you aside. I think that's really what we kind of established here with Danzavida, is we really emphasized on who we are. You know, we do like the royalty thing, and, you know, we're very kind of like, diva, like you said.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what makes us who we are. We're very
Yeah.
showy. We're a performing company. Our style is very different. But I think it's important to be different, because we are capitalizing on our brand and who we are.
Yeah.
And I think as a choreographer or an artist, just be yourself.
Yes.
Find what works for you and what you feel the most confident in, and run with it. And trust me when I tell you that energy is what's going to attract people to you, and you will succeed. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, and just do your thing.
Well, I watch what everybody's doing, but I give kudos. I'm always showing the support. But again, I watch only because I don't want to do the same thing.
Right,
I don't want to do
yeah.
something different. So again, with this podcast, like, okay, so when I moved back to Hawaii in 2020, well, I wanted to come back because of dance. So before I moved to Hawaii, I was doing quinceañeras and stuff, and I thought to myself, like, man, nobody that I know is, you know, doing quinceañeras. Everybody's a DJ. Everybody's,
Yeah.
you know, dealing drugs or whatever. You know? But I was like, I want to do something different. And I was like, what do I love to do? And I started reading the book called The Purpose of Living. And I got in the middle of the book, and it's just like, it hit me. I was like, I don't know any choreographers, and I love to do it. So my
Yeah.
first one I did was, I just graduated high school, I think it was.
Wow.
And yeah, I loved it. And so, well, yeah, you can see my podcast on my show.
That's really neat, though.
But yeah, so now that I'm getting out there, I was nominated for Best Quinceañera Choreographer in 2024 and 2025. And then I started meeting everybody else, and it's like, okay, there's all these people I'm meeting, they're doing quinceañera choreography.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I'm not trying to get away from it, but I'm still doing them.
Mhm.
And I was like, what is one thing that nobody's doing here in San Antonio? And I want to do something with the community. I was like, you know what? Nobody does a podcast.
That's true.
I was like,
I like
let
that.
me dip into that. Let me see what's up. Let me see where it goes. So it has been an amazing project, and I'm loving it. And I love getting to know everybody. And you know, this is where I'm gonna get my little. I'll take this from Crystal.
There
I'll
you
take
go.
this one, you know?
Yeah, it's
So,
important to stay inspired.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people ask me, like, why don't I open up my own studio? I'm like, no. I was like, because I have enough friends that have studios, and why not just give them the business? You know what I mean? So if I have like a quinceañera on this side of town, I'm like, Crystal, you know,
Yeah.
you know, for your studio, you know, can we rent it out and stuff? So yeah, I think that's what I would rather do. So anybody can answer this. So when it comes to hip hop, how do you stay current with the latest trends and techniques in hip hop dance, or it can be any other kind of dance?
I think they keep me current with what's in
Right? The kids do, yes.
I'm like, what is this dance? Layla loves to do hip hop. And hip hop's something, it's not our specialty here, but it's like a seasonal class that, like, occasionally I'm like, okay, we're gonna do hip hop, and we'll have it around for like a couple months, and we have fun. We love hip hop here. But I think me being a little older now, the stuff that this is okay. This is my thing. Y'all need to leave our line dances alone.
I think you saw my post, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, let's start with that. Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up on the northeast side of town. Back in Thunderbirds over here. I could get down with some hip hop.
Yeah.
But our hip hop was different back then. And I'm okay with this new generation, but just leave our songs alone. What are y'all doing to the bunny hop and the wobble and like?
So do you remember that one Walk Like Ronald?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like nobody plays that anymore. But then I started listening to it now that I'm older. It just got one bad word in it.
Yeah.
So that's probably why people aren't playing it. I was teaching my niece it the other day.
Yeah.
And then now they had the Ride the Train. These kids have a line dance with that one too.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And it's like, this isn't the one we would do back in the day. So I'm teaching my nephews and my dancers the ones we would do back in the day. And they're like, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, ours are way better, by the way.
I think so too.
I saw the wobble the other day, and it was like they were doing something and sliding. I don't know what it was.
So I did make up my own, and again, this is where I got the pieces, and I was like, let me just add a little different things. So I think a lot of the times with their dancers, with their line dancing, it's like you're standing in one spot for too long.
I can see that.
And so I'm like, how can we make it to where it's like you stop and just give it another 5, 6, 7, 8 instead of just sitting there for a whole 8 count.
Yeah.
So
the same thing.
They tampered with, what did I say? They tampered with the wobble. They tampered with the entourage. They tampered with what else? The Cupid Shuffle.
All the
Just
line
don't
dances.
tamper with Macarena.
Yeah,
leave that one alone. Please.
I don't want to see what you guys would come up with that one.
It's still the same. So let's
even like the Soldier Boy, people still try to do that one, but it's a little different. Yeah.
Really?
Just leave. Yeah. I'll have to send you a video.
Yes.
Just leave our songs alone.
Yeah.
It's like our songs. Couldn't you have anything?
So the other day the DJ played I went to a quinceañera where I did the waltz, and they played the Macarena, and I was like, let me see what these kids did. But
He's like looking around.
I'm like, let me see what these kids did with the Macarena. And it's the same thing.
Good. Leave it alone.
I'm like, that's the only one that they didn't touch. So leave that one alone.
Yeah. They do. They completely change it. All
Done.
the
So what I do love about it is I love that they're getting creative.
Yes.
That's one thing that I do love, and I'm like, okay, so I'll put myself to the challenge and learn on work.
I think TikTok has helped with that too. A lot of these like in general, whether it's like the choreography or the new hip hop, all the TikTok dances.
Yes.
I don't know where y'all learn y'all's. I'm just saying TikTok.
Right? Yeah. I think they do teach a lot on TikTok. What are some of the unique challenges and rewards of dancing in any kind of style you love? You can put your favorite one. Who would like the samba? Yeah? Okay. So what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of dancing in samba?
A couple of unique challenges in samba is when you do the samba move, you have to be, you don't have to, but okay, you do have to.
Yeah, there you go.
You have to be precise, you have to be all together or it will look, not trying to be rude, but like sloppy or unorganized. That's the word.
To be a teacher, you're going to have to say these words.
Yeah,
okay?
get used to it.
So
Get used to just saying it, Layla.
And you have to be it's like you can have fun with it, but once in a while, one thing that I do is once in a while I change my face. Like I can do like if you're like getting low, you can do like I don't know, like something other than just
more
a
sassy.
smile. Yeah, and people just like
that one face? There you go.
Yes, that one.
And Lacey's has it down.
And the other challenge is probably taking your time, because I know a little bit, I know I still do this, but a long time ago I used to do it repetitive and a lot, is that I would watch Miss Crystal do it, and then I would do it while she was doing it, and I wouldn't learn it because I am a visual learner, not like a listener, so I have to watch you do it. So when she was dancing, when she was showing us the move, if we put our arm up, I put my arm up at the same time and not wait and watch her. That's how I okay, what's the next move?
Yeah, you were just kind of quick to try to absorb it without taking it in.
Yes, but now I understand. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm interrupting you.
Now that I understand that it's more important, the more older you get, the more people assume, oh, she's 13, she should know how to do this, or she's 10, she's still learning, That's just how I think that people think.
I think no matter what age you are, you're always learning. There's some stuff that I'm learning, like me, one of my bad habits is I'm always looking down.
Yeah.
That's one of my bad habits, and I think one time I did my first competition. I think it was 2021. I got major points off of that, and there's a lot that you're still learning. I mean, I'm sure you're still learning.
Oh yeah,
You're
I have
always
major
learning.
like ADHD. Like I'm like all over the place,
Yeah.
and just like my focus. Sometimes it's just I have to just zone in and focus. And I've been teaching for so long. It's been a while since I've like physically taken a class. So I know if I were to get into the studio with the choreographer right now, they'd probably be like, "Ma'am,
Yeah.
focus."
I think another habit that we get is we're always depending on them, like we're watching the mirror, and I tell them like, don't look at the mirror, don't look at the mirror, and right now I'm having my kids do it on their own.
Turn them around.
Turn them around.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Especially the quinceañeras.
Yeah.
I do that. You know, the first few practices have them face the mirror, and like the last 2 weeks, we're not looking at the mirror. We are looking at the wall.
Yeah, but I think with quinceañeras, like I tell them, you know what? It's okay because not everybody there is a dancer.
True.
Everybody wants to be a dancer, you know. So
Quinceañeras are not easy.
no, they're not.
Those are the hardest.
But I love it though.
Yeah. But to see the final product, it's so rewarding.
Because that's when they get into it the
Yes.
most. And then they
To
get
see the
more
growth.
the day of, the day before, last practice, guys.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my clients they get into it more.
Absolutely.
What was your favorite dance? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some most? Oh no, that's not the question. So what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of dancing in folkloric?
So some unique. It would probably have to be like the footwork to make it like. How do I say? Precise. Yeah, like precise.
It's a lot of footwork in folklorico.
Like you don't always have to like perfect it, but like at least try your best and make it like kind of look and sound like it. And some rewarding are probably like, just dancing and make sure you're doing all the steps, and then you just hopefully have like a finished product. It's all pretty.
Yeah. Like they recently did a dance for recital. Like I mentioned in Folklorico, there's different states in Mexico, and one of them was Veracruz. So they actually performed with a candle, a glass candle on their head.
What?
With the footwork. So they're doing their Santiago with the candle. And they were petrified to perform that song. This was their first time.
Was it real?
We couldn't light it because we were at a
Okay,
theater.
okay,
God
okay.
forbid one of them drops it and the place catches fire. But it was a glass candle,
Gotcha.
not glued or attached to anything. So literally like balanced on your head like this. And doing the choreography and the in and outs and the footwork with the candle.
While smiling down.
While smiling and trying not to look nervous.
You have to be like literally stiff.
Yes, so
It's a challenge.
it's a challenge. A lot of the choreography that they learned, I think that one was probably one of the most challenging ones for sure for them.
Definitely. Nice. What about you, Miss Crystal?
So
what's your
I talked
favorite-
about flamenco.
Mm-hmm.
Flamenco. And what was the question again?
The question is, what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of dancing in flamenco?
Unique challenges. It's it's not an easy art form to master. I think that's why not too many people dabble with it, at least that I know personally. What I love about flamenco is there's so many different types of styles. There's sevillanas, which is with the castanets. Bulería, which I mentioned is a little bit more dramatic, tells a story. Rumbas that are really upbeat and lively. So challenges is definitely that it's really complex and there's a lot of different styles that make it so unique. And rewards is just being able to perform it. Any chance that I have to perform flamenco, it's usually a treat for them to see me perform. It's usually like at a recital or something. I don't perform often, but that's usually what I perform is flamenco. And it's always a treat to be able to perform that in front of a live audience and kind of get that reaction from the audience. For me, like my highlight was performing it in pageants. When I won Miss San Antonio, I performed a flamenco rumba, and just like getting a standing ovation afterwards was like, oh my gosh, they did love it, you know? And so, or even having people come up to me after saying like, I didn't know what flamenco was. When I went to Miss Texas and I performed flamenco, the Miss Texas pageant was in North Texas. So very different from San Antonio. A lot of them did not know what flamenco dancing was or had ever even seen it before. So being able to take that talent to state and them see that and be inspired by it, or even say, hey, I just saw it for the first time. I thought that was pretty neat, you know? So I love it, just being able to perform.
You were Miss...
San Antonio.
But you also Miss Fiesta?
So I was on the Miss Fiesta court.
Okay.
I was Miss Fiesta First Princess in 2011, and then Miss Teen San Antonio in 2008 and 9. I won it back to back, and then Miss San Antonio in 2010.
Okay, I think that was the only rabbit hole I had was the Miss Fiesta in 2011.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Y'all do ballet, modern contemporary?
So we do, and we actually have a ballet workshop that's coming up. If anybody watching, we have a very, very talented ballet and contemporary dancer, Trinity Lopez, who's one of our students here at Danzavida, and she's going to be providing a ballet workshop for our students and anybody who is watching that wants to try the class. It's like a one-time thing.
Okay.
They don't have to commit to being a part of the company. It's open to anyone out there that wants to try it. Yeah, like a pop-up class, like a workshop. So it's not my forte. I studied it as a young girl. I'm more on the Spanish side, but I'm a firm believer that ballet is very important.
Yes.
Basics, foundation, posture, technique. Take your ballet. I know it's not that fun, but you need it to be a good dancer.
I've never taken ballet.
No, I suggest you take a class. Just take it.
Maybe for fun.
For
funsies. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
it. So so I hear the same thing that ballet is recommended. Your posture.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you maintain that? Hold on, real quick. No, I'm just kidding. How do you maintain the necessary flexibility and strength for ballet?
Well, I'm not very flexible, and I don't really do ballet too often. So, but when I was younger, it was a prerequisite to take flamenco, to take ballet folklorico, and that's why I'm starting to incorporate it here with our dancers. Is it's so good for flexibility, for formation. So even if you take it, once a month or once every other week, I think it will really help strengthen them in their other dance disciplines. So I think.
What is the age limit for the class? Do you ever have adult classes?
I do have adult classes.
Okay.
I do have adult classes. My intermediate classes are more like a teen and adult.
Okay.
So, but the ballet workshop, we have one for kids and then we have one for teens and adults.
Okay.
So if you're watching and you want to take the ballet class, I'll send you the info. Maybe
Yeah.
you can share it. So, but yeah, so we don't have a lot of adults. I feel like our dynamic is more kids. But occasionally we get an adult that pops in and wants to take our intermediate class. So it's kind of intertwined with like teens and adults.
Because I see that a lot on you're on Dancers of San Antonio, right?
Yes.
So I do see that a lot about people, looking for adult classes for
Yes.
ballet. They want to get into dance. So yeah, that's why I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Where do they do for like adult classes, like on a regular?
So our adult classes would either be flamenco or folklorico. That's and I have my folklorico classes on Monday evenings and then my flamenco on Tuesdays. But I mean, we have like an open door policy. I never have like a prerequisite as far as like you need to have this amount of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that walks in this door is kind of like thrown into the fire. Like just get in, and I tell everybody the same thing, just stand in the back and just try to follow. And it really is like, it becomes like muscle memory.
Yes.
We're going over the choreography, we're going over the turns and the technique, and in time, before you know it, it starts clicking.
Yes.
So I think you just can't be afraid. And I think sometimes, especially when you're like coming into a studio, it can be intimidating, and you see other kids that have been dancing for a while.
Take a class with you.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of courage, but like
Yeah.
once you're in it and you're like committed to it, you're gonna get it. You just have to
Nice.
stay consistent.
How many times have you guys heard One More Time? How many times is One More Time for y'all?
What is? Yeah.
Probably like
5 times.
No, I
That's
think it's
exaggerated.
more. No, I think it's more. So how many times do y'all hear One More
Oh, like
Time?
on how many occasions?
Like you hear One More Time, One More Time. Crystal, you said One More Time
I think
20
I
times.
say that
ago.
like every week.
Sometimes it's for like the beginners and intermediate. She's like, one more time, and then y'all can get some water. And then like a couple more times later, and she's like, okay, you can go get some water.
It's
But
like
we gotta
one more time, 20 more times.
Yeah.
They tell me, you said one more time like 20 times ago. Like, tell me about some of the most memorable performances or projects.
I'll talk about Corpus. So we recently were performing in Corpus Christi. We were asked by Grammy Award-winning Tejano group La Fiebre to perform live with them on one of their songs. They were going to be on Domingo Live, which is a Corpus Christi show. And they reached out to us like 2 weeks before.
Sorry, which La Fiebre?
The Tejano group
The-
La
the-
Fiebre.
the
La
original.
Fiebre,
Okay,
original.
okay.
Yeah, original. And they actually just celebrated, was it 50 years?
Yes.
I mean, they've been together a long time.
Yes.
40 years, or they had just had a really big anniversary. So they actually reached out to our dance company to perform a Flocorico number live on the show with them in Corpus. So I got to take, I think it was like 5 or 6 of the girls. They were there. So we got to travel to Corpus and be on the show and, you know, be on the set. And
I would like to see that. See, other stuff I would love to see.
Yeah, and so I was like, we need like behind the scenes, like us traveling to Corpus, and you know, we've done a lot of local shows here in San Antonio. We've been on, you know, SA Live, Great Day SA.
I saw that.
So we do a lot of local stuff, but then to be featured in Corpus in another city was like pretty cool. And then to bring the girls with me was awesome. So 40 years? 40 years, their 40-year anniversary. And I was doing the math because I was like, I don't think they're that old to be 50. So they just celebrated their 40-year anniversary with music.
Who's the lead singer?
Joe Angel is his name.
No.
Is his name Joe Angel?
The original singer.
So I think they did have another lead singer back in the day. And actually that's funny that you mentioned that because I saw an old video and it wasn't the current singer.
Yeah, what was his name?
It was another guy, but I think they did replace the singer. I think the other band members are all the originals, but I think the lead singer, I don't know if he went on and did like another group or he started his own group, but I do think that he's a newer singer, the one they have now.
What about you girls? What is y'all's memory? Your fondest?
Oh yeah. Project. Well, your most memorable, I guess, performance or project that we've done.
Mine memorable.
We've done so much.
I think it would have to be my first recital because, like, whenever I first started, I wasn't thinking that we were gonna have like a whole show of all of our dances, and that's when my mom told me. So I was like, oh wow, that's gonna be cool. And that's when I got told I was gonna be in the La Reina.
Oh, the pageant.
pageant.
And we had a pageant that time. Yeah.
That was the first time I got a title.
Nice. How was that feeling?
I was proud of myself because like it was my first time having my first recital
and getting a crown.
Getting a crown, yeah.
Magical night.
Awesome. Congratulations. And yours?
It's probably gonna have to be my first ever time performing with Danzavida at all.
Do you remember what your first show was?
I remember me and my mom, well, my family, we went to Market Square and we saw y'all. I was like, Mom, I need to
sign me up.
It was in the black top with the pink ruffled skirt.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like,
Flamenco.
oh my gosh, I need you to sign me up.
That's awesome.
So then, when I started coming to practice more, I was like, okay, like I didn't really like, cause like I was younger, so I was like, I didn't really assume that it was gonna be so amazing as it was. And so my first performance, I was,
It was the
I don't know where it was.
the rescue. It was we did it on Fredericksburg Road.
Is it Humane Society?
Humane Society.
Oh.
Yes,
So she got to see
another
dogs.
person that like made me more excited about performing that was obviously you and my best friend Camila Frasto.
She had to shout her out.
Yeah.
She was already here.
Yes, she was already here, and she was not the only one, but the main one that would always like, not push me, but like say, oh yeah, you got this, even though you're young, like not the youngest,
She's
but
younger, way younger. Than
she
me.
was like support 8,
Yeah.
and I was 10.
And she was already training with intermediate.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so when I got
Nice.
in intermediate, we just clicked the second we saw each other. And we're still best friends from today.
Nice.
Aww.
How did that make you feel hearing these stories from them? Have you ever heard these stories from them?
No. So
No?
it's nice to be able
Yeah.
to, we don't really have time, like you said, like it's
Yes.
always like, dance, get in line, stop talking, and I'm always like, stop talking, we gotta work.
Yes.
So it's nice to hear their perspectives or to hear like the impact or like their memories.
Aw.
So it's special.
Aw,
Yeah, just
nice.
kidding. I love it. I love
So,
to hear it.
how do you stay motivated and passionate about dance, especially during challenging times?
An answer.
Well, I'm gonna have to say like how I stay motivated.
Yes.
Yeah,
or
How do
like
you-
And dance.
How do you stay motivated and passionate about dance, especially during a challenging time?
Like for instance, you come in, you know, from school and you're tired. You
Yes.
got
especially
boo-boo today, you know.
Especially from when after school, like I had soccer, the one thing that motivated me was I'd come here and just like during warm up, I just talk and talk and talk to everybody, and just
she just lets it all out.
Yeah.
We let them vent sometimes. I think
Yes.
it's important. Like this place is a safe place for my dancers. I'm a therapist, if y'all didn't know, and I don't even think their parents know half the time. But I want it to be like a safe place for them to be able to express themselves, and you know sometimes they go through things in school, and you know boys or whatever, and they just need to let it out. And sometimes we do that. We have like the first 10 minutes, and they're like, Miss Crystal, guess what? Or this girl, and I'm like, what happened?
Not high school, but you hear
all the cheese man, all the tea, and I like to hear it because I don't have no kind of cheese man. You know, I just go to work, see my husband and my son is kind of the same thing, you know. But for them to be able to express themselves, I think
that's probably one thing that
they're saving grace sometimes.
That's one thing that motivates me. Like when I come here, like I obviously talk to Miss Crystal, but then like one thing that like I'm going back to the other question now that I'm talking. When I was younger, since I said that I did ballet and all that stuff, that dance group was good for my age, but it wasn't like this one. It wasn't. We'd have practices for a recital every once or twice a year. But for here, we practice for performance, or some people say recitals. Every other, probably every
a couple times a month. Yeah. We're
and so
busy.
Yes, and so I wasn't as close as I am with Miss Crystal. Like on my other dance company, I was not as close with the teacher as I am with her. Like I wouldn't talk to her and be like, I don't remember her name.
But I think we're like a family here, and
Yeah.
I think like what Layla's trying to say is that we're always doing something. We always have a performance, or we have a festival, or we have a project. Like, or we're doing the Selena thing, or we got Fiesta. We had like 10 shows during the Fiesta season, and so I think that's what keeps them intrigued, is that they always have something to look forward to. Versus, you know, every studio's different, but some studios they'll have like a recital once a year, and I can see where for some kids especially it's kind of hard to stay motivated when you're like, oh, the recital's not till 6 months from now, and you just have to keep coming to class. You know, so I think they kind of always have something to look forward to that keeps them.
I think what I tell my students is, even though we don't have anything, let's just come into the studio and let's just get ready.
Yeah,
you know,
stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
You know,
exactly.
So I think there's been a lot of times where people call us, hey, you know, we got to perform, we got a show this weekend. You know, can I perform? And then the kids that I was with, which is my nephew, my cousins, they're already older, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I wasn't really in the studio. But now I'm getting these other group of kids together. So I told them the same thing. Let's stay ready.
Stay ready.
We don't have to get ready. So a question in the comments from Ethan Alvey.
My brother.
Your family is spamming the comments.
Yes. Hey Layla, what is your favorite dress you have worn during your time at Danzavida?
That's a good question.
If you want to answer this too, you can answer.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think Isis has an answer already.
Do you have an
answer?
It just popped up. What's
Favorite
your
dress?
favorite?
Out of all your dresses, y'all have a lot.
The first one that sticks to your head.
It could be a solo one too, any one that you had.
Or it could be coronation dress.
Yeah.
These are some good questions. You guys are giving some good
You're
questions.
I got one.
Okay, what is your favorite dress?
Probably. I know I'm supposed to pick one. It's just so hard. I don't remember. Probably from a couple years ago. That black. That we did on SA Live. I think that black. The puffy dress with the pink.
The Latin one.
Oh,
that one
yes.
is always
Sway.
gonna be my favorite. It's
a Latin dress that's like fringy, black fringe sequins, but then it has like black ruffles in the back.
Okay.
And then they wore it with a hot pink feather, like samba headdress and heels, and
that one, and probably.
You don't need to wear that dress again. Now that I think about
Yeah.
it, I kind of forgot about
Not
it.
this year's solo, but I don't know. It wasn't last year's, but like
Your Slim Shady solo.
that one. It was.
Cute.
I had like shorts and like
skirt.
Dress.
and I had a skirt like the samba skirt that we
Yeah.
have, and I had it in It was like a hip hop kind of sway kind of thing in the mix,
Okay.
and it had Slim Shady in it. I take my skirt off and.
Like the Marshall Mathers?
Yes.
music?
So
Okay.
it was, she did, Layla always
I'm
has
gonna
to
check
think
it out.
outside the box, but, so for recital, I allow like 6 solos,
Okay.
and I basically tell them, we could do whatever solo you want, so sometimes they'll choose like ballroom, or they'll choose flamenco, or folklore, whatever they wanna do. Layla always wants to do something outside the box, so
That's
she's
good.
like, I wanna do Latin
Good
and
for you,
hip hop
yeah.
and this, flamenco, so hers was like a mix of songs.
Oh,
So she
okay.
started it with like a fan and a skirt, and then it went into Slim Shady where she rips the skirt off, throws the
Oh,
skirt.
nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to show you like a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
videos of all this.
Definitely.
Do you have a dress in mind?
Probably the Jalisco one because like whenever you do the turns, the star, it's so pretty. Like the other turns.
So the dress that they wear probably the most is our folklorico. It's
Yes.
Jalisco. It's called the Jalisco dress, and it's got. I know you've seen pictures of it. So it's they're all different solid colors, but it has ribbons, a whole bunch of ribbons.
Okay.
But our ribbons are shaped like a star,
Oh.
right? So when they're doing the big turns, you see a star as they're turning. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
very beautiful. And then in pictures, you know, when you have them all like performing together and you see all the turns, when you capture that, it's like all these beautiful different colored stars.
Nice.
So
And I
that is-
love stars too.
Yeah.
So I have stars right here. I have 2 tattoos of stars.
I love it. And they're all custom made dresses, so they all
Yes.
choose their own colors and ribbons and stuff. So I always say that dress kind of fits like each girl's personality because that's usually like their favorite color, and they kind of choose the
I
ribbons. And
might change my color.
are you thinking of changing
I'm
your color
thinking
soon?
of coloring it, like turning it into like a blue, like kind of like blue, like a
The
different.
sky blue or midnight blue or
Ooh,
Royal blue.
yeah,
so many kinds of blues.
I know.
Yeah, thinking about it.
But
She has a
I'm
hot
thinking
pink
about
right now. So
Yeah.
that'll be a change for sure.
Okay, one more question from the comments. This is to Layla again, but you can
Layla!
answer it too, okay? You can answer
Layla's
it too.
fan club.
Can you tell me what your favorite dance was that you performed? Do you have a favorite dance? We're putting you on the spot.
No, y'all are making us think.
We have a lot.
We have so many
Yeah.
dances.
Probably either Borka, because one thing that I know about myself
That's a good one.
is that I'm not trying to sound like bragging.
It's
No,
okay.
brag. Toot that horn, girl.
Remember
Toot
he
it.
told us
Be-
to
be-
toot the horn, remember?
Toot it.
I
Shoot
feel
it.
like
Stay humble.
I
Give
feel
no
like
advice.
that I have very strong footwork
Mhm.
and like one thing that I know and that I'm gonna keep doing it for my whole life, even when I'm a dance instructor, is that whoever's teaching me to dance, I'm gonna keep begging them and asking, can you do it over and over and over again until I know it step by step. And that's the thing I do to her.
Yeah,
When
she
she
does.
does it, I said, can you do it again?
Or, can I film you?
Yes.
So I can record it?
And so
Yeah.
I know it, and then, like, you never know, there could be one day when she can't be there, and we all just have to go up there and be like,
Yeah.
oh, just do this
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Or the dancers, something happens, and one of us just have to go do a solo, and you'll be.
I do tell them that. I said, you know, you can't get so reliant on, oh, look, Isis is going to be there, so I could look at Isis. Or
Right.
Trin's going to lead us, and or Layla, you know, I said, hey, there may be a time where, like, nobody can go, and you guys got to go up there, and you got to do it on your own. So don't get so comfortable always looking around. Really know what you're doing, because you may got to get up there and dance it on your own.
Yes.
You know,
You don't
so
know.
So-
you don't know, ask me.
Yeah,
I will
so
break it
I
down.
tell my dancers not to be looking at the next person because you're looking at them, they're looking at this person, that person looking at this. Guess what? If that one person messes up, it's gonna be a domino
All of you
effect,
guys are going to mess up.
you know?
Exactly.
So try to be independent when it comes to
Yeah.
practice at home by yourself,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yes.
or what I do, just you dance by yourself in the
Yeah.
studio, you
Yeah.
know, one-on-ones.
You have to put in the work. That's what I
Yeah.
always tell them too, is that y'all only see me, you know, for an hour if it's just a specific class. You guys have the whole week. And even if it's just 15 minutes after school or before bed, let me just run the footwork. Let me hear the song. I said, even
Yeah.
listening to the song,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't just rely on the hour that you see me.
Right.
I'll practice it next week. Like, no, because by the time you get here and everything that happens in your week, you're not going to remember what we
Right.
did. So I have to always, I tell them, you have to be accountable for the work that you put in.
Even putting them together, like you put something together, and then next week, do you remember it?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
And I look at them
So we actually depend on you guys to keep practicing throughout the week.
Yeah, and you know what? That's so funny that you said that, because I feel like as I'm getting a little older, I'm starting to forget. You know, I'm like, I'll choreograph it, and it's here, and I'm like, okay, I'll remember it. And I can only hope that these girls are gonna save me next week and be like, oh yeah. But there's some weeks where they're like, Miss Crystal, I forgot. And I'm like, well, I forgot. Looks like we're re-choreographing it again.
Yeah, go back to the video.
And I've never been one to like write steps down.
That's what
I had a teacher, no shade or hate or anything, but she would write every little step down.
But now these days you have.
Yeah. So I'm more like, we'll film it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get better at the end of class. Okay, let's record it so that we could all practice it, including myself. But I've never been one to like write the steps. And I'm not a really big like counter. I'm more of like, I can't explain it. When I choreograph, it's more of just like the rhythm and the beat. I'm kind of like freestyling it and kind of meshing it all together. But yeah, I am starting to forget sometimes. And I do like, please remember. Because I have so many classes.
Yes.
I dance in the shower.
Yes.
Wherever you guys, yeah.
I think when
She tells me at school, under her desk. She's
one
like,
of
I'm there.
my students, my nephew, so he would be practicing at football practice. And then some of the football players were like, dude, that's so cool. So he'd be there instead of football practice. He'll be teaching some of the football players. So that was awesome. Yes. Okay, so we are cutting us short on time, so as you can go, so Miss Crystal, these are questions just for you. So what are some common misconceptions about dancers or the dance world that you would love to address?
I think dancers always kind of get the short end of the stick as artists in general. And I've been through it enough within like the performing industry. We are not like oftentimes people don't treat us like artists. It's like versus a singer. And I saw it a lot as a young girl, like competing in talent competitions and pageants. I would get so frustrated. Like, I think vocalists are amazing. I sing too, but I personally feel that so much more goes into dancing. Physical strength, conditioning, preparation, like the toll it takes on your body. And, you know, when I would lose to like a singer, I'd be like, all she did was stand up there and just hold that microphone. And it was just like, you know, and I feel like dancers, we have to kind of work 10 times harder to prove who we are or to prove our talent, I guess. And even when it comes to gigs and stuff, and this is like on the financial side, you know, when we're booking for like weddings or events and things like that, you know, they want to pay the band thousands and thousands of dollars. I think we're very reasonably priced when we do have like a private event, or if I have a private event, but it's always like, you know, you charge. Well, we're a business, of course we do, but if it was a singer or if it was a band, like they don't think twice about it. But when it comes to dancing, I don't know if there's just like a stigma behind just how people view dancers. I just always felt like as a dancer, we have to always prove ourselves a little bit more. And there's just kind of like a different standard when it comes to dancing. So that's just kind of been my experience. Like, I don't know about you. Or even like with quinceañera choreography. I don't know about you, but when people ask like what you charge, and we don't have to talk numbers or anything. I'm not very cheap because I know the work and the time that it takes to do this. And you know, people, and I always tell people like shop around for whatever's in your budget, but at the end of the day, this is a big event and you want, you know, to look your best, right? But I think sometimes when it's about money, or it's always like this, like, oh, that's what you charge, and it's like, you know, our time is worth money. So
what I tell my client is like, the price is actually up to you. So I can give you a price for 10 practices. There's some where I get them done within like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? And the rest of them can be terminated. Or because every time I go out there, they make a payment or make payment arrangements or whatever it is.
And every group's different.
And so I mean, if we don't have to backtrack because this person didn't show up, you know, so that also takes us back too, and we have to reteach. It's not fair to, you know, Layla that, you know, Crystal wasn't there past 2 practices. You know what I mean? So honestly, when it comes to quinceañera practice or quinceañera charging, the price is up to you. You know, or not to you, but to them. To the client. So that's a big thing you guys want to also look into also. So, all right, good answer. How does dance impact your life outside of the studio?
For me, I think my relationship that I have with like our dance family and my students, you know, it extends much further than just here. And I think I've been able to meet so many people throughout these past 17 years and form so many different relationships with people in the community, and you know, students that have gone on and they've pursued dance in college and want to pursue it as a career. So to me, it's like beyond a studio. I think if it weren't for dance, I wouldn't have met all these amazing kids and people and families and established all these great connections throughout the city and been able to mentor. And so I think, like, where would I be without dance? I mean, I would be living a completely different life. When I think of like all the experiences, all the things I've gotten to do. I got to take my mom to Hollywood a couple years ago. I performed on a show called Tengo Talento, and my mom was like, always wanted to go to Hollywood. She always said, you know, you ever make it to Hollywood, you better take it with me. Take me with you. So I was able to take her and my sister, and we were able to experience being on a Hollywood show and getting that whole, but it's like, if it were not for dance, like, where would we be? What kind of life would we be living? You know? So I really, I'm just grateful for it, and I'm grateful for everybody that I've got to meet and all the things I've got to do.
Nice. What are some of the most important lessons you've learned from dancing?
I think, like I mentioned earlier, just really staying true to who I am as a performer, as a dancer, being a good role model, because I have so many people that I mentor and look up to. So I always think of them in every decision that I make, and I always want to portray myself in the proper light because I know they're watching, and just living my life and being happy, doing what I love. I think if anything, like, if you love something and you're passionate about it and you know this is what you want to do, go for it. I think the sky's the limit, and I don't think you should let anything hold you back from pursuing your dream. It's gonna take some work, but if you're willing to put in the work, it's very possible.
Just looking at your Instagram and your Facebook, I can tell you love.
Oh yeah, this is my life.
Can you share a pivotal moment and that solidified your decision to pursue dance as a career?
I think when I saw how much of an impact I was making, like, on the youth, I've always been like a magnet to kids. It's crazy, and I didn't have my son till I was almost 30. But ever since I was, 16 when I opened the studio, I've always had this magic connection with kids and my students. And I would hear stories from their parents, like, my daughter loves you and she talks about you all the time, or, you know, she wants, like, there's like career day, and, you know, sometimes they dress up as me at school because they want to be a teacher. And it's like little, like, hearing things like that. So when I really step back and I look at the impact that I've had on my students, it's really solidified that this is what I was meant to do, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's the best feeling ever.
Awesome. Collaborations. How do you collaborate with choreographers and other dancers?
I don't feel like I've done too many collaborations recently. I would definitely like to. Even like doing something like this, I think has been great. One thing that I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna put it out there, so now I have to do it because we talked about it. But I think it would be really cool. I'm all about giving back to the community, and I did it years ago when I mentioned Crystal for Kids, but it's been a while. But I think it'd be really, really cool to organize an event where different local dance studios come together and we put on a show, like a benefit show, to raise money for a special cause. I'm all about the kids. I work really closely with the Christa Santa Rosa Children's Hospital, and I've donated quite a bit to them. But that's kind of something that's always been on the back of my mind, and I don't think it's been done, so maybe I can orchestrate it. But I think it'd be nice to come together as a community with different dance directors and different schools, where we organize a night where we all showcase our craft, showcase our work, and obviously we could like sell tickets, and all the money would go towards a special cause, a cause in need. So I think for me, it's all about giving back.
So one thing that I do see is nobody does anything for International Dance Day.
That is true.
You know, and then we just passed International Dance Day.
We just post it.
That's it.
And with a dance picture.
I don't know. This goes to all of everybody watching. Maybe we should celebrate International Dance Day.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I like that. Or do like a flash mob downtown with all the dancers.
You know, something. But I think, okay, so this is gonna next question. What is one thing you think San Antonio dance community needs? And I'll ask this to everybody.
What does it need? I mean, I think for the most part, San Antonio does a really good job. Like, there's a lot of diversity here. My biggest thing, I guess because I didn't have that when I was coming in, is just being more open to like the younger generation, just kind of coming in. We have a lot of like jefes that are like standing around, and it's like I've been this, X amount of years, and I'm like creeping up on my 20 years, so I'm getting up there, you know. But I think it's important to be open to like the newer generation coming in and getting started, and maybe being more helpful or hands-on with like helping guide them in, because eventually somebody's gonna have to take it over for us when we get older. I mean, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, but I think there's no room for competition. I think we should all just be more willing to just support one another and uplift one another, young, old, new, whatever the situation may be, and just be more united, I think.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a competition. We're all very different. And I think as long as we're confident and secure in who we are, we should just be open to supporting everybody.
I think the only competition that there should be is yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the only competition. I mean, that's who I'm in competition with. I'm trying to be a better person I was 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely.
30 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yes.
30 days ago, the person better than yesterday, you know? So that's my competition.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right, let's see. One more question, then we'll call it a day. If you could have any superpower related to dancing, what would it be?
My superpower would be to get all my dancers to dance in sync together and not mess up. Because sometimes I got one going this way, one going that way. Or maybe like the ability to see them all at the same time, because my classes are pretty big. So it's kind of hard to study everybody. That's why I like to do private lessons, because it gives me that one-on-one time with them. For the most part, my classes are full, so I have to be up there instructing, but a lot of times I need to sit down and I need to see, like, I hear it, somebody, especially with footwork, like somebody's off, but I can't find it. Who is it? So yeah, if I had like a superpower to have the ability to like point out who's wrong, or to just be like snap my fingers and they're all just like just in sync. Oh, what a dream.
Because with my students, it's like you have them do it again, because you're trying to find that one.
Yeah, like you hear it or you see it. You're like somebody, but I can't find you. Who is it?
Superpower.
That would be my superpower.
Let me know how you find that superpower. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, do you guys have any questions for me? Let's go over little questions. No.
Let me think. So what styles of dance have you studied? Like what
So
are
I've
your
done
specialties?
hip hop. One I love doing is reggaeton.
Nice.
So when I did my first debut in the dance community, it was for the San Antonio Hip Hop Fest for App City Dance Studio.
Oh yeah, I remember
So
that.
I did 2 reggaeton songs.
Nice.
And people were like, dude, nobody does a reggaeton here. So they kind of like put me out there with that. And so some people would also say, dude, it's supposed to be a hip hop, not reggaeton. But I was like, well, I gave you guys something a little different.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
so my thing, if I had to pick, it'd be reggaeton.
Nice. And you don't really see that a lot.
No.
So that's making you.
Well, now I'm starting to see, I know there's a studio out there that there's, I don't know if I should say the studio, but it's the Circle. Have you heard of the Circle?
No.
So there's that studio. I know it's a brand new studio, but there's a guy. I'm gonna try to get him on the show too. I don't think, but he does a lot of reggaeton.
Nice.
I want to take his class too.
Very nice. Well, I'll have to check out the Circle.
Yes.
Never heard of them, but definitely will support.
I think they're on the northeast side, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
not too far from me.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Any questions?
Do you have any
from
questions
you,
for
ladies?
him that you'd like to know?
It seems like I'm gonna say this before my question, so
Okay.
we're on the same page. It seems like you're very into dance. So do you dance? I know you mentioned that you have like your own dance company, but did you dance like?
When I was younger.
Yes, or do
Yes.
you still dance?
So I started dancing when I was 13. My sister actually inspired me to be a choreographer, because my sister was always putting these dance routines together with her friends and my cousins and stuff, and I wanted to learn them too. My dad was always like, "Oh, that's for the girls," and so I was like, okay. So and then I started my first quinceañera when I was 13. My sister choreographed it, and it was from Grupo Límite, the Papacito.
Ay, Papacito.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
and
that
I
song.
loved it, dude. My sister did an awesome job. So after that, I saw everybody dancing cumbia and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's when I started picking up, and then I started getting the hip hop, then bachata, then
Yeah.
salsa, then hip hop, or reggaeton.
A star was born.
Yes. so that's so I started dancing since I was 13.
Nice. How was it like living in Hawaii?
It was
I mean,
awesome.
compared to San Antonio, that's
so I'm originally from San Antonio.
Yeah.
So and then I got married and we got stationed out there in Hawaii, and then got divorced 3 years later. But I stayed out there for an extra 2 years.
Wow.
Just experiencing
Culture shock for sure.
It was, and the lingo is so. It was so hard to get into the lingo and knowing what they're talking about because I don't know if you know, but they call it pidgin.
No.
Yeah, it's a different.
I always wanted to visit.
Yeah, it's nice to visit, not to live.
Not to live.
Yeah,
I'm sure you missed like your tacos and your.
There was only one restaurant that I loved out there. It was a Mexican restaurant because they didn't have that much Mexican restaurants. And I had to really, it took me a few years to actually find the one.
Yeah.
So I literally had to drive on the other side of the island to go.
You're like, I need tacos today.
Yes, and the guy knew me because they would have like they turn into a nightclub and they would like cumbias and all that. They have banda groups.
Demetrius was like, yes, I found my people.
They'd have banda groups from California come over here, and then the guy knew me. He saw me dancing, and so the guy really knew me. So
Aww.
that was awesome.
That's so cool that you were able to find that little bit of culture.
Yes.
All the way over there. But I guess my last question is like, what else are some of your like goals or your plans?
My goals is, so with the podcast, I really didn't want to put it out there. So my podcast coming in July, I want to go to Austin, get some dancers from Austin.
Great,
to be on
Austin's
the podcast,
awesome.
and then kind of expand. You got Austin, then Houston, then Dallas, and then maybe out of the state a little bit.
There
so
you go.
That's
You gotta speak it into existence.
Yeah, so that's my goal for this podcast because I follow
Awesome.
people from New York. I follow people in California, and I think he's from Colorado. And there'll be some times where they, show their love and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like hitting them up every single day.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, that's just like crazy.
Oh, best of luck. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Let's see where this goes. So. Any other questions? Any questions? No? Any questions for you guys out there? Because we do have to end it because it's getting late and the girls have school tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
I just want to ask, what would be your top 3 types of dance?
Top 3, good question. I would say, but I get those first. Hip hop, and then now I guess I'm gonna have to start getting some K-pop.
There you go.
I love it. I love the music. I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, alrighty, guys. So we are going to end it here. Thank you for joining us on the dance floor, the podcast with all the right moves. Crystal Diaz Mendez.
Yes.
Awesome, and her lovely ladies. Danzavida. All right. So thank you for joining, you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.